Now, Sports Talk with Broads. Here's Hunter Brody.
What a spectacular game by the Flyers to come back down 3 goals halfway through the game against the Boston Bruins. This team did not give up without a fight, and I really do believe this. I do when I say this. I believe this. This feels like a game where it will create a ton of energy moving forward. It seemed like knowing they didn't give up, knowing they continued to fight, knowing that they beat the Boston Bruins when down 3 goals, a very good team in this league, a top-tier team. It just gives this Flyers squad a ton of confidence moving forward, knowing they beat the Washington Capitals, knowing they put up a good fight against a Tampa Bay team where they lost 1-0 because of a fluky goal, and knowing that they faced a ton of adversity and found a way to win in overtime. It means a lot, and some wins just mean a little bit more, and it seems like this is one of those games. Seeing their body language afterwards, seeing them walk into the locker room from the tunnel, looking at the enjoyment on their faces, there's something to be said about how they pulled this one out, how they stood together as one, as a unit, and battled their asses off to get the 2 points in a very important time of the season. Now, there's a lot to talk about when it comes to this game, but before we do, we need to hear a word from my sponsor, SeatGeek. Are you looking to go to a Flyers game or a Sixers game or any game out there? What if I told you I can give you money off of those tickets? Because I can. If you use the promo code BROADS at SeatGeek's checkout page, you will receive $20 off of your total purchase. I'm pretty much giving you free parking or free beer, whichever way you want to use it. So make sure you use the promo code BROADS today. A resilient bunch. I feel like Gabe Kapler when I say that. But what a resilient bunch. It didn't start out pretty, though. Of course, there were some ugly moments in this one. That's why they were in a hole. That's why they were down a bunch of goals. But in the first period, the Flyers have a brutal turnover trying to go from one side of the ice to the other with a pass right through the neutral zone. It gets picked off. Then the 2-on-1 off of that turnover wasn't played very well. And then Carter Hart... not really the smoothest in that opportunity and in that moment. And the Flyers are down 1-0 just like that. But it got worse because David Krejci drives to the far post. A really nice pass comes from the far side. And as he's driving, as he's working hard, as he's stopping right there at the blue paint, the Bruins are up 2-0 just like that. But before the first period is over, the Flyers get a power play, and Kevin Hayes rips one past Halak. Now, this goal generated all because of Travis Konecny and the way Konecny had his body facing the goaltender like he was going to shoot. He opens up his hips, which allows him to deliver the pass to Kevin Hayes and create a spot for him to rip that blistering shot. And it was a beautiful play by Travis Konecny to set all of that up. And the Flyers go into the first intermission, only down 1 goal, but 33 seconds into the second period, Pasta with a filthy move, which opened up Carter Hart, and he was able to deliver and put it past him. Pasta is filthy. He has dirty mittens. He does this all the time. But it bothers me that it happened 33 seconds into the period. How are you not ready? How are you not ready for that? You can't allow goals to be scored like that so early in the periods. First 2 minutes, last 2 minutes are very crucial, and it sets the tone for what the period is going to be about. You can't allow a goal to be scored just like that. You just can't let that happen. Not like that. But luckily, the Flyers were able to respond. Travis Sanhiem throws a biscuit on net from the blue line, and it squeaks its way through. You got net front presence, you got muckers and grinders, loose puck finders sitting in the blue paint right in front of Halak. He can't see much. Bang, the puck goes right through, and it's a 3-2 hockey game. This is where I got annoyed. Coyle gets a beautiful pass, and he's able to deliver a quick snapshot right over Carter Hart's glove. Krejci then gets his second of the night. It's 5-2. Now, during those moments, I consistently saw the Bruins enter the zone and make a nice short pass underneath the Flyers' defenseman's stick or bank it off the wall or through the defenseman's skate. When they entered the zone, they made a quick little pass, and they allowed that player then to make a quick stride to the net or make a pass back door or set the puck up behind the net and find someone curling or maybe scissor across the wall. My point of this is, when they entered the zone, they made a quick little pass and they were able to execute and do something off of that. Now, let's be real. When you look at the Bruins, they have stud players. They have players like Marchand and David Krejci and Pasta and players who have been doing this for years. So I understand that they have a team and a roster that has been through this league and through a ton of games. And that's what happens when you have veteran players who are filthy and disgusting. They're able to constantly do that type of stuff, right? But it was annoying. They scored 2 goals right after the Flyers made it a 1-goal game. I was stressed out because I thought the Flyers kind of let a bad moment happen. Not thought they did. They did, right? They did. They did let a bad moment happen. But they were not done yet. They did not die. Now or never. Now or never. That's the hashtag now. I guess they changed fly or die to now or never. But that's what it is. Anyway, Sean Couturier finds a way to slide a puck past Halak. Bunneman mucking and grinding in front of the blue paint. Friedman throws a biscuit on net. It hits off him, hits off a Bruins defender. Finds the twine. They don't ask how. They ask how many. And the answer is 1 for Bunneman. As he's sitting in front of the netminder doing the dirty work. Sometimes the dirty work players get rewarded like that. I'm sure he dreamed of his first NHL goal coming down the wall, right? Maybe making a move over a defenseman's stick and quick wrister that goes bar down. No. How about just barely nicking his pants or his shin pads or his stick and finding a way to bounce off a Bruins defender and he gets the technicality because it hit off of him last. Hey, as I stated, they don't ask how, they ask how many. It's 5-4 going into the third period. With 7 minutes remaining, Travis Sanhiem, boom, who's your daddy, what's he do, ties the game up 5-5. Now, the Bruins had a late surge. They were able to create opportunities. They were able to move the puck around, but ultimately it goes into overtime. Carter Hart wasn't great at points in this game, but then there were other moments where he shined and he delivered and he made the saves that he needed to make. Timely saves. That's what I always state when it comes to Carter Hart. He makes the timely saves. So it didn't start out pretty. I thought that he was off with some of his angles and he didn't come out of his net at times fast enough and things of that nature. But all around, when he needed to settle in, he settled in and did enough for this team to secure the victory. In overtime, the Flyers got trapped. One shift, they got trapped. Travis Konecny could barely move, and we all know what the point of overtime 3-on-3 is: puck possession. Move the puck out of the zone. Maybe switch up some of your players, get a line change, keep all the tired Flyers out there. You saw them attacking Travis Konecny specifically because they knew he was winded. It was a tough moment. I didn't know if they were going to be able to get out of it, but real late, when there was barely any clock left in overtime, the Flyers take it hard to Halak. It hits off of him, and there was a wide open net for Ivan Provorov. It was there. All he had to do was lift it over the pad, but he didn't lift it high enough. It hit the very top of Halak's right pad, and it stayed out, and you heard the buzzer sound. And I got nervous in that moment because, one, let's be real, it's the Philadelphia Flyers, and they definitely do not win shootouts out on a consistent basis, right? So I was afraid because of the shootout, and it was right there. It just seems like when there's a possibility for the Flyers to win like that, and they don't. Oh, how do I put my stock in the fact that they're going to win a shootout? I just can't. So I didn't feel good in that moment. But we move on, and players couldn't score on both sides. Claude Giroux had this disgusting move where he's using his backhand. He fakes out Halak. He hits the post. The puck is going into the net, but Halak reaches back with his glove, and it hit the glove and did not go behind him. I'm thinking, come on, you got to be kidding me. Then the Flyers hit the post. It hits off Halak's glove and hits the crossbar, while Carter Hart is making the saves that he needs to make on the other side. But now you have Provorov missing a wide open net at the end of the overtime period. Then you have Claude Giroux getting stoned. And then you have the Flyers hitting the pipe as well. I believe it was Sean Couturier off the top of my head, but I don't remember 100% who it was. But I think it was Sean Couturier. Don't quote me on that. But regardless, they hit the crossbar. And every time the Bruins went down, I held my breath. Oh, at some point they're going to score. But what ended up happening? Travis Konecny comes down. He rips it off the right post, and it goes in. Carter Hart needs to make one save. One save, that's it. He makes a save, and the Flyers snag 2 points against a really good team. Brad Marchand misses the puck. Oh, Brad Marchand misses the puck. How do you do that? He skated over the puck. Now, because the puck moved forward, he wasn't able to go back around and grab it and go. He moved the puck forward. It was ruled a save by Carter Hart. Let's go. How funny is that? This guy's a special talent. He's annoying. He's a pest. He licks people. He does weird things. He's chippy. He plays on the edge, but he's a good player. He scores points. He's able to make big things happen. He puts the puck in the net, right? He produces assists. He does it all. But he missed the puck. He missed the puck. Oh, man. And you can see the Flyers' reaction on the bench. They didn't know really how to react, but they were excited. They were jumping up. They were trying to get the Carter Hart to celebrate with him. They were laughing. It was just a mix of emotions. And it was one of those games where so much happened, so much occurred, that I think it will be so big for this squad moving forward. I mentioned how physical it was. After the whistles, you have teammates sticking up for each other. You have guys holding on to Zdeno Chara, right, giving them some punches. I saw Kevin Hayes in the mix at one point, Joel Farabee as well. All these players are sticking up for each other after the whistle, and of course they hate each other, right? This isn't the first time the Flyers played this Boston Bruins team. There is some hatred involved because of the cities. It's just the nature of the beast, Philadelphia hating Boston, and because of maybe that 2010 series where they were down 3-0 and the Flyers came back and won in Game 7 after being down 3-0 in Game 7. Oh, what a beautiful series. But, there's always going to be hatred between these squads, and you saw it on display. But I thought it had everything. So many unique, different things. Crazy amount of goals, and the goals came in waves, and the Flyers kept coming back. They never went down. They continued to do whatever they needed to do. They continued to throw pucks on net whenever they needed to. In the second period, throwing pucks on Halak left and right, making sure they are really attacking the netminder. Crazy. That's just the way to describe it. It was a crazy game. And it kept my attention over the college football national championship. Now I'm just going to throw this out there. When it comes to that college football national championship, I was sold on it being an elite epic game. It was a good game. It wasn't epic, though. It didn't move the needle to me when it came to an epic game. I can't say it was an epic game. I had more fun watching this Flyers game. I couldn't believe it. Listen, I don't want this to come out the wrong way because I am a diehard 4-for-4 Philadelphia sports fan, can't you tell? But it's big, and it's a huge feeling for me when I'm fist pumping for a Flyers game. I love the Flyers. I do. I love the Flyers. But it's not the same as the Sixers or the Eagles to me. I love the Flyers. That's what I'm saying. I don't want this to sound the wrong way. But for me to be fist pumping, screaming, yes, going crazy for the Flyers, that just shows you how big of a moment and how big of a win I thought that was. I'm dropping F-bombs when Provorov doesn't score. I'm freaking out when Claude Giroux's shootout goal doesn't go in. But when Travis Konecny hits the pipe and it finds the back of the twine, yes! I even got the text like, yo, shut up down there. I must have screamed too loud. But I'm just saying, I knew it was that big of a momentum switch for this team for them to pull this type of victory out, and I need them to build off of this. The race is real tight right now. They need all the 2 points they can get whenever they can, and this one was monstrous. Because guess what? The Columbus Blue Jackets keep winning. Believe it or not. The Columbus Blue Jackets, after everything that happened last year, losing their players, making trade deadline moves, moving on from those people in the offseason, they are winning hockey games, and they are keeping it close with the Flyers. Now, looking at the stat sheet, Sean Couturier, 3 points. How you, Dan? 1 goal, 2 assists. Travis Sanhiem, 2 goals, so he delivered. Jake Voracek, 2 apples. Friedman gets an apple. Robert Haig. Kevin Hayes with the bingo. I love when Kevin Hayes has a strong game. When Kevin Hayes plays his best and plays a great game, I love it. Two-way. His ability to produce offensively at times is really awesome. Thick guy, throws the body, has his sticks in the lane at the right time, does the dirty work, uses his body. Like, I love when he protects the puck along the wall. There's two players on him, but he's just using his body, and he's able to use the boards and himself to protect the puck in so many different ways, and then he'll find a way to maybe rim the puck around the net, which creates a chance for the Flyers. He does like the little things that I feel like a common hockey fan wouldn't pick up on, but if you're dialed in and focused on the beauty of it, he really executes some crazy stuff and some really unique things that not everyone in this league can do. He's got a good frame to do that, a good body frame to be able to protect the puck like that. I like the way this team played with emotion. It wasn't too much emotion. I've stated before that sometimes you can play with too much emotion and it's crossing the line. I thought this was a good amount, a perfect amount. They answered the bell when the Bruins tried to push them around after the whistle, or hell, even the Flyers maybe started it sometimes, but good. Don't be afraid to mix it up a bit and have the fans involved. Remember when we ripped apart the fans for not showing up? I remember it was like a Tuesday night against Anaheim. Ever since then, it's been packed. So maybe it was just that night. It was before the holidays. It wasn't the greatest weather. It was a bad team coming to town. Ever since then, it's definitely been a really great environment at the Wells Fargo Center. Now it helps when it's the Capitals, the Lightning, the Bruins, when it's these bigger squads, better squads, right? And bigger market teams. Not that Tampa Bay is a huge market, but the Capitals and the Bruins, they're big-time markets. So maybe that's something to do with that. But for the Flyers, getting back to my point, to play with that type of energy and that role in this one, to be pests, to be annoying, to be engaged in the physical side of things, it kept the fans involved, and that allowed this team to ride off of the momentum. It's funny, the broadcast, they were losing their mind when that shootout happened, when Brad Marchand ended up missing the puck. You don't see that. You don't see that from that type of player. If Justin Braun went out there for the last shot in a shootout, I hope that never happens. That means that many people didn't score. But if that was the case and Justin Braun skated over the puck, that makes more sense, right? You kind of laugh at that because, okay, Justin Braun, are you serious? But for a skilled player like him to just overskate the puck in a big moment, huh? And of course he's getting ripped apart on Twitter and things of that nature. But hey, that's social media these days. You can do anything and start getting roasted on Twitter once it starts getting retweeted all the time and posted up by the Flyers. Even the Flyers Twitter was having a good day and having some fun with it and tweeting it out. But I mean, if you're him, you shake it off and say, okay, look what I've done in this league. Look at the Stanley Cup rings I have, right? Or at least the Stanley Cup finals. Because last year they ended up making it, but not getting the job done. As we all know, the St. Louis Blues took care of business. But one day, hopefully, that will be the Philadelphia Flyers. Who knows? All you got to do is get into the big dance, and that's the beauty of hockey. You just never know. Just get in. The St. Louis Blues last year, last place, awful. Looked like they were going to start selling Tarasenko and making some big-time moves, getting rid of the core guys. Look what happens. You just got to get hot at the right time. And as long as the Flyers continue to stay in this playoff hunt, that will keep us engaged because all you got to do is get in. You need Carter Hart to experience the playoffs. We talk about Carson Wentz all the time in this city, experiencing the playoffs for the first time. Not that I want to go down that road. But same with Carter Hart. He's going to need to experience it. And it's... I know what this team is, so I don't expect much more than this wild card spot-ish. But it is just annoying knowing that it's going to be close. It's going to be a dogfight until the very end, until game 82 to know if they're going to be in the playoffs or not. They're not a team right now based off of their age and based off of their experience and their skill set. They're not a team that's going to be comfortable in that first, second spot in the Metropolitan. They're going to have to fight it out until the very end, grind out points. I mentioned this in my last conversation when they lost to Tampa Bay. This is now the part of the season where you got to get the job done. It's about producing. It's about points. In October and November, you lose close ones. You lose battles. You say, okay, you're happy with the effort. You're happy with their play. We'll move on to the next one. of course, there's going to be times where the Flyers lose, but they play well, and you're not disappointed in whether, you're not disappointed in their effort or how they played or their style of play or anything like that, but it comes down to needing to produce and grabbing those points down. Now it's about, hey, you got to separate yourself as much as possible. You got to find ways to keep involved with the playoffs. You can't slip. You can't slip. So, let me know your thoughts down below on this victory against the Bruins. I thought it was very strong, and it was a huge win for this team. Thank you so much for watching. Hit that thumbs up button, subscribe, and I will see you next time.